What's good, y'all, man? We here with our first MOG Chop, and for you guys who don't know what chop means, it means talking. That's our form of saying talking. We chopping. So this is going to be a series that we're going to be doing on our YouTube and our IGTV, where we just talk about faith, talk about people's stories, just all types of things. We just going to chop and talk about what we feel like God is putting on our heart. I'm with my man Blake right here. This dude's story is ridiculous, man. I worked with this dude about a couple months ago, man, and like I re-linked with him like several weeks ago, and like totally different person, man. Like I seen him at a church actually, and it was just crazy, man. So I'm gonna have him tell a little bit about himself before we get started. So my man Blake right here.
My name is Blake Valenzuela. I've always been a believer. I grew up around a Christian family, and I was born in Kentucky. I was raised in Florida. I spent elementary school there, and then I grew up in Colorado. So when I moved to Colorado, that's when really God started pulling my heart. That was middle school through high school. So in middle school, I would go to church sometimes. I really went to a lot of Christian camps mainly, and the first like godly experience I could really remember that I loved the most, I love sharing the story with people, is when I was at a Christian camp, and in the church, it had no walls. So it just had a roof. It was kind of like a pavilion church, and there's like rocks and trees in it. Really, really like, you know, down to earth. So we're sitting there worshiping, and I really got the urge to cry. And I was like, bro, I'm about to cry. Like, I can't. I put my head down, bro. I started crying like just like waterfalls. I looked up, and the whole church body was crying. Every pastor, every kid, everything. And I felt the Holy Spirit like just moved through my body. Like that was the first thing when God really touched me and showed me what His love does. And then high school, I fell off. So I get to high school, bro, and I was like, I really fell off. I got into drugs, unfortunately. I almost lost my life to it. And you know, it really changes you. So, you know, a lot of people say like the growing happens in the desert, you know? Like your faith is only tested when something like that happens. And so now I can say that I am founded with Christ. Yeah.
For sure.
And it's been a journey for sure. Like this past year has been crazy. Like it's really been great. I really hit a 180, as you put it. Yeah. I was out doing drugs, and I had a sailor's mouth. Like I was really just wilding. I was just, you know, I was my own idol. I was doing whatever I wanted to do, and then like God just snatched me right back up.
For sure. So I got a few questions for him. Just kind of do like a little interview type stuff. So, how did you find God, and how did it like change your life? You feel me?
Yeah, so really that first story, like, that was really, like, when I, like, really experienced God for the first time. As a young kid. I was super young. And I wish I could go back to that moment, because it was absolutely unexplainable. Like, but recently, so, in this past year, after I graduated, I was depressed. Like, I wasn't, like, doing anything. I was at the house gaming. I was not trying to hang out with no friends, you know what I'm saying? I was not motivated to do anything. I was not working for like 4 months. And it's crazy because my friend that I graduated with, she invited me to a church. Again, it was a young adults church. I had never been to a young adults church ever before. I've always been to like, you know, regular Sunday service, you know, where everybody goes, old people to young kids. And so I went, and I felt at home. Like, I really felt like this is where I can relate to people the most, because these young adults are struggling with the same issues I am.
Facts.
And I went, and I was like, yo, this is great. Like, I'm about to start coming. Like, every Tuesday I was starting to go. So I went for like 6 months, and God, like, slowly but surely, like, took me back. And facts. I mean, like, he always been there. He never left me, obviously, but and Jesus showed me unexplainable love and inexhaustible love, as I like to put it. But
like, and I'm gonna budge in. Like, I work with this dude, man, and what's crazy is that how long because we were working at Paxson We was working at PacSun and our store closed.
Yeah.
Because our numbers was trash.
Yeah.
When was that? Was that September?
That was last summer.
Was it last summer?
2017.
And that was literally the last time I seen him.
Yeah.
And then I seen him a few weeks ago, and I'm like, I seen dude like, and literally like, he was a whole nother person just with his like you can. It's just weird like what God can do and how He can transform somebody's life. And like my head was literally like blown. Like I was like, this ain't even Blake. Like he's just like new in the way he spoke with so much energy, with so much passion. Like the Spirit came and took him. And we want to like really like continue to put people on here like Blake to show you how like the Spirit can still move, especially in this generation where like people think God is dead and God's not working. No, like God's still, God's doing His thing. Like His glory is gonna be revealed. So, like I just had to add that in there because I mean it was crazy for real. It was just crazy how, just that shift. It was just like still blowing my mind to this day, man. Like I see him, I'm like, yo, dude, like you don't even understand. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, so the next question I got is, where do you see yourself going?
So that is a great question. So 2 months ago, actually. So bro, like my walk with Christ has been so fast paced in the past year. So I was baptized when I was young. I would say I was in elementary school. Yeah. And you know how they say when you're young, like you don't fully understand what it means to give your life to Christ, because you're young. You haven't really seen the world. You haven't seen the horrible things, you haven't seen the greatest things, you know. And I was baptized, and I was under my own will, you know. I was like, I wanna love God, so I'll do this publicly. I wanna share that with everybody. And I got saved again, 3 months now, 3 months ago, and it has been like a roller coaster that is just going uphill. Like it's crazy. Like I've been going 1,000 miles a second. Yeah, like no, for real, like it's crazy, and it's just been so fruitful. And I've been called to ministry. I felt called to ministry surprisingly, and I was like, did I really like? Is this really like I didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're called to do something, you know, like you always question it, like you shouldn't, but it's like asking for confirmation, like God, do you want me to do this? And I was at church, and like a regular day, I was taking notes, and like over my body suddenly it was like my heart rate got fast, boom 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 boom, I started shaking a little bit. I was like what's happening? And my thoughts were consumed by God. That's the best way I could put it. And the only thing that I could think about was me, the picture of me preaching, you know. And that's really and me going to a Bible study and everybody telling me how I'm passionate about talking about God, like that was like another confirmation. Like I really prayed about that. I was like, God, confirm this to me. I want to know this. And there's been more instances like with confirmation, but that really stood out to me the most is that like when I went to Bible study for the first time, I'm talking to all these people I don't know, but you know, it's like I do know them because we all are in the family of Christ, and I feel comfortable talking to y'all like I've known you forever, you know. And like that's where I want to be, and preferably young adult ministry, but you know, where God takes me, I will go.
As you can see, when he got involved with the community, that's when things started to change. Because when you're involved in the community, you have to be open. You have to be an open book. People can pour wisdom into your life, pray for you, mourn with you, celebrate your victory, and like pick you back up with your losses, and just continue to pray for you and encourage you. Like, and that's why we highly advise you to get involved with a community that you can be vulnerable, be real with. Because like people are going through real stuff, like real things are happening every single day, and the biggest lie from the enemy is that you're alone. That is not true. There's so many stories, there's so many people that have been through the same thing. The enemy wants you to be isolated. He wants you to be in isolation, because in isolation those thoughts can form and start to consume your mind, and you'll start to think, maybe I'm the only one going through this. That is not the case. Can you speak on that? Like, yeah.
Dude, I want to share something. AK posted to his IG story, and I really liked it. And it said, "Faith, we do not understand. Joy until we face sorrow. Faith until it is tested." And like, that is so good to me, because you have to relate to people for you to really understand where you're at as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can be depressed, but if you're alone, like, if the enemy wants you to think you're alone, how are you gonna get past that?
Mm-hmm.
God made, you know, us for a reason to be with Him and to grow in discipleship with each other. No, Jesus, like, although He did do it alone, He had His disciples.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't walking alone. So
exactly.
We gonna wrap it up there. We don't want to go too long, but appreciate you guys for all the support you guys been showing. We're gonna continue to do these every Friday. We're gonna do more stories like Blake. And yeah, it's just an awesome thing that God's put on our heart to do these things. I really feel like He's gonna work through this. So continue to stay tuned every Friday. We're gonna have a MOG Chop. It's always gonna be different. So y'all be blessed. Stay up. We ask, we move. Takeover season. Let's get it. Hey. Yeah.